How's it going, everyone? Kyle here with Awesome Sauce News. Today I'll be taking a quick look at Corsair's first ever Mini-ITX chassis. This is their Obsidian Series 250D, and it aims to provide a no-compromise solution while maintaining a significantly smaller form factor than what we've previously seen from Corsair. So let's take a closer look. Keeping in line with other cases from the Obsidian series, the 250D has a minimalistic yet elegant aesthetic. The anodized brushed aluminum front panel is sleek and fairly scratch-resistant, but incredibly prone to fingerprints. In the top left corner is a discrete power button and a tiny recessed reset button. On the right are two USB 3.0 ports and your mic and headphone jacks. They've also included a single 5¼ drive bay for ample marshmallow storage. It can also support a full-size optical drive, yes, which is probably more practical but not nearly as tasty. The front panel below can be lowered by pressing the two marked pressure points, and from there you can just let it hang out or remove it completely. Just behind the panel is a removable dust filter, which is held in place by two sturdy plastic latches, making it easy to remove, clean, and reinstall. With the filter out of the way, here's a better look at the pre-installed 140mm fan. You can also mount a 200 or a 120mm fan, or you can just tell the air to suck it and slap on a 120 or 140 radiator. Moving right along to the back of the case are not one, not two, but 5,000 thumb screws. Yeah, there's a lot of thumb screws going on here, guys, but they all serve a purpose, rest assured. So right here, we've got two 80mm fan mounts, you've got two PCIe slots, and a removable bracket held in place with two of those thumb screws for a full-size ATX power supply. There's also a second removable dust filter for your power supply fan, which should have plenty of room for intaking fresh air underneath the case, since the rubber feet hold the case up about 1.5 inches off the ground. To the left of the power supply mount is another removable bracket, which feels like some kind of secret door that leads to the drive cage. It's kind of got a hot swap vibe going on, but don't be fooled. You'd still have to pop off the side panel to unplug the drives before you can actually remove them. Nonetheless, they've included 4 plastic toolless drive trays for up to two 2.5-inch and two 3.5-inch drives. Now, Corsair has decided to put a tinted acrylic window on top of the case, which I think is a good call considering the motherboard layout of this chassis, because it gives you a better view of your main components inside, and it opens up the option for ventilated side panels. Both side panels feature generous ventilation and removable magnetic dust filters on the inside that are as easy to remove as they are fun to play with. Delving deeper into the cavernous abyss of the 250D, you'll find the motherboard tray that sits right above the power supply. It's also got a large CPU cutout to facilitate the sometimes tedious task of installing your CPU cooler. Tie-down points for cables line a couple of the edges of the motherboard tray, and there's even a few more of them below at the front of your case. It's more apparent here looking at the case from this angle that you can in fact fit an ATX power supply of just about any length. There's also some rubber pads for your power supply to sit on to reduce noise and vibration. This rather spacious area in the front should also provide plenty of room to house your excess cables so they don't impede airflow in your case or suffer a bloody murderous death from being eaten by the front fan. But as a safety precaution, Corsair has included a fan grill just in case. Now, to the right of the motherboard tray are mounting points for two 120mm fans, one of which is already included. You could also remove that fan and install a 240mm radiator, and this, in tandem with the radiator support at the front of the case, gives the 250D a ton of potential for custom water cooling loops. Now, if you wanted to, you could completely remove that 5¼ drive cage up top, but you don't actually need to remove it in order to install a 240 radiator. It would simply just give you a bit more space to work with. Now, at the beginning of this video when I said that this case doesn't make compromises, I wasn't talking about its refusal to negotiate with terrorists or anything like that, but rather that the 250D is aimed at users with limited desk space who still want to take advantage of top-tier current-gen hardware, which these days generally tend to be on the bulky side. Thankfully, the case supports graphics cards up to 290mm in length and CPU cooler towers up to 200mm in height, making for one hell of a gaming machine the size of a toaster oven, but like the climate of a refrigerator. And that's going to wrap it up for this overview, guys. Once again, this has been the Corsair Obsidian Series 250D, and by no means necessary is this the smallest Mini-ITX case that you can find on the market right now, but you would be hard-pressed to find one that's as forgiving in terms of full-size hardware support. I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce News. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Toss me a like, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.